They call me cheap behind closed doors, the old man counting pennies. Fine. I'll stay quiet about the jackpot I tucked beside my wife's ring. Before I give a cent, I'll run a simple test. When I say I need help, will they show up or send excuses? Either way, my money will teach them what respect costs. Hearing this far, you must be very curious, right? Before continuing this story, please comment below to let me know where you are hearing this story. I want to know how far my story resonates. AT in Portsmouth hums through thin windows, the low push of a tug in the harbor, a gull that refuses sleep, wind talking to the cedar siding. I sit at the table Evelyn chose, steam rising from a chipped mug, and lay a slip of paper no bigger than a receipt on the wood. It looks like nothing. It feels like a verdict. The safe is older than our children, right, left, right, and the door gives. Inside, her ring in velvet, the deed a summer photo of us grinning like we knew how to hold sunlight. I slide the ticket beside the ring, one promise next to another. My kids think they know me. Nolan wears pressed suits and a voice sharpened for boardrooms. He says, "At your age," and lets the phrase do the bruising. He believes fathers are accounts to be managed, and love is a spreadsheet. Diego is the laugh that cuts. He works nights at the dockside, bets on luck like it's a skill, and treats responsibility like a bar tab, something to pass along. Erin talks fast because life chases her. Scissors in one hand, calculator in the other, always a promotion flyer under her elbow. She isn't cruel, just tired. And Lily, niece by blood, daughter by practice, teaches second graders across the river in Kittery. She calls to ask if I've eaten, sends photos of crooked paper turkeys, listens when I have nothing to say. People mistake quiet for empty. Factories teach you that long nights where worth is counted in parts per hour, not in the songs a man hums to get through the shift. I wore modesty like armor. My sons mistook it for weakness and swung at it. Sometimes my heart stutters like it's trying to remember a step. June Park at the clinic calls it old rhythm, finding its way back. She tightens the cuff, listens, and reminds me to walk when the weather allows. She stays late to finish my paperwork and refuses coffee money with a smile that lands soft. That's a kind of care you cannot purchase. I pour hot water over a tea bag the way Evelyn did each November. The smell opens a room of memories, her hands flour-dusted from pie dough, a $5 bill hidden in a drawer. For future surprises, her voice telling me to keep receipts, even if only to prove to myself I've kept going. She would have loved the irony. Family birthdays on a ticket my family mocked. Numbers that gave me a choice. I take the ticket back to the light. 7 digits that change everything and nothing. Money doesn't fix character. It reveals it. I won't buy love. I'll measure its small requests, no warning. I dial the blue lantern. Frank knows my voice. Saturday, he asks. Saturday, I say. Family dinner, the round table in the back. After I hang up, the harbor sounds louder, like the water is rehearsing an answer. I picture Nolan's eyebrows lifting into a lecture, Diego grinning when the steak lands, Erin smoothing a napkin she can't afford to stain. Lily will say, "Tell me when to be there," and mean it. Tomorrow, I start measuring. Morning in Portsmouth carries a clean edge. The sky is a hard blue, the kind you can chip your breath on. I stand in Miller's Market with a basket bread, eggs, tea, while the clerk rings me up and the coins clatter like small verdicts. Behind me, a man sighs at the pace of old hands. I let it pass through me. My phone buzzes the moment I step into the cold. Nolan's name, neat as a business card. "Dad," he says. No hello. "Quick thing. Erin mentioned you were at Miller's again. We should review your discretionary spending. At your age, cash leaks matter." I lean against the brick, the harbor wind cutting around the corner. I bought groceries. And scratch-offs? The way he shapes the question makes it an accusation. "Look, I built you a budget file." Come on, it's family. I'll square it when I can. I picture tools in the garage with handles shaped to my palm. I picture his suggestion last month to sell them. "Not this week," I say. His voice hardens a degree. "Whatever, hit up Nolan." He loves being the boss. He hangs up without goodbye. I walk the 2 blocks to Seaside Cuts because the wind says keep moving. Through the glass I see Erin bent over a client, foil flashing in neat rows. I step inside long enough to catch her eye. The dryers fill the room with a steady roar. "Dad, can it wait?" She calls over the noise, palms up, apologies in motion. Saturday is slammed. "Text me later?" "Later," I say, and the word feels like a coin I don't plan to spend. Back home, the house settles around me like a coat that doesn't quite fit anymore. I set the bread on the counter, put the eggs in the fridge, and take my notebook from the drawer where I keep rubber bands and warranties for appliances that outlive their makers. I turn to a clean page. The paper looks like a small field after snow. 3 names. 3 kinds of certainty pretending to be love. I write, 3 small tests. Start Monday. I don't write what they are yet. Not because I don't know, but because I want the ink to understand the weight of the words before I teach it the shape of each one. The harbor horn sounds once, low and final like a judge. I called them on Thursday so no one could claim surprise. Family dinner, Saturday. The Blue Lantern. My treat, I told Erin. Dryers roared behind her. "At your house?" she asked, then caught herself. "Right. The Blue Lantern. Can I bring the kids? I can make 6:15 if Mrs. Conway's color lifts on time." 6, I said. "We'll manage." I texted Nolan because he prefers records. "Family dinner. Saturday, 6 p.m. Blue Lantern." He replied in 3 bubbles. "What's the occasion? Is this about your budget?" "We can run numbers after." I typed back. "Just dinner," he answered. "We'll be there." Diego picked up on the second ring. "Who's paying?" "I am." "Then I'm in," he laughed. "I'll even be on time if traffic doesn't hate me." By 6, the Blue Lantern hummed like it remembered us. Jazz from the upright drifted across clinked glassware. Each time the door opened, the harbor's salt walked in. Frank gave me the background table without asking. "Good to see you, Walt," he said, setting an extra carafe of water like muscle memory. Nolan arrived first, tie knot tight as his smile. He scanned the room like a spreadsheet for inefficiencies. "Dad," he said, sitting, thumb-checking his watch. Diego slid in 10 minutes later, leather jacket that remembered a younger body. He slapped my shoulder like a slot machine. "Look at us, Fancy," he grinned, waving for a beer. Erin came last, hair pinned, apology already in motion. "Saturdays are murder," she whispered, folding into her chair. Linda poured coffee for me without asking. "On the house," she mouthed. Warmth climbed into my fingers. I let kindness win a small round. Menus went up like shields. Diego didn't look at prices. Ribeye, 12 ounces, medium rare, cold beer. Nolan traced the wine list with a fingertip. "House reds are rarely worth it," he announced to no one. Then to me, "You shouldn't drink coffee this late, Dad. Sleep cycles at your age are fragile." "At my age, sleep listens to different masters," I said. He smiled like I'd said something quaint. "We can cover sleep hygiene later. First, finances. I looked through your last quarter. Leakages and discretionary. We can shore that up. Lottery tickets are a tax on the poor." Diego barked a laugh. "Yeah, Dad. Scratchers are for people who think the universe owes them. You want a thrill. Come to poker night. At least you can bluff." Erin smoothed her napkin. "Kay needs new cleats," she told the linen, voice small. "Maybe next month if tips pick up." Nolan's tone sharpened, the way he files knives. "Let's consolidate your accounts. Give me access. No more dribs and drabs. It's all psychology. People your age." "My age again," I said. The piano stumbled a note, as if to mark the phrase. He didn't notice. "Are vulnerable to magical thinking. You chase what, ifs, instead of building what, works. Trust me. I'll handle it. You'll thank me." Diego raised his glass. "To what works Frank's steak," he grinned as Linda set it down. "You're the best, Linda." She smiled because she is kind, not because he deserved it. No one asked how my week had been. No one asked about the clinic, or why my hands were steadier, or whether the house felt too large when wind marched down the hallway. Plain. I try again. "I can handle plain." "No, you can't. That's the point." His voice hardens. "Stop playing pretend. You want to sleep? Hand it over. Send me your logins, let me move the money, and I'll keep you from losing the house because you clicked the wrong thing. If you insist on understanding, you'll freeze, you'll miss windows, and then you'll call me crying when it's too late. I won't mop that up." The office breathes through the line printer's coughing, a laugh that doesn't belong to either of us. He keeps going. You raised me to be good at this, so use me. Or don't and blow what's left trying to learn. But don't drag me into your mistakes. Sign the document tonight. I'm not giving anyone my logins, I say evenly. Give me 3 simple choices in writing. I'll pick. He snorts. You can't even keep track of your passwords. I'm offering to fix your life. You're welcome. Last chance. I send the DocuSign. You sign it. I move you into something sensible by Friday. If not, enjoy losing to inflation and lottery fantasies. I'll think, I say. Thinking is exactly what you can't afford, he shoots back. Opportunity cost. Clock's running. We hang up. The kitchen is the same room, but the air feels thinner. A voicemail blinks. June's voice is a warm hand on a cold rail. Mr. Brooks, quick reminder, your labs looked okay last time, but let's keep Saturdays close enough to touch. I call the Blue Lantern. Frank answers with the voice of a man who knows how families survive and don't. Walt. Round table in the back, I say. Saturday. 6. Got you, he says. You want the piano quiet? Let it play, I tell him. I need the room to hear itself. When I hang up, the car feels steadier than it has in months. The bridge is burning behind me, but the road ahead is clear. One last dinner. Then I stop measuring and start acting. The Blue Lantern feels like a courtroom when you know what you're about to say will end something. Frank sets the round table in the back. Linda tops off my coffee without asking. The piano keeps its distance. They file in Nolan precise, Diego loud, Aaron breathless. No one asks why I wanted this twice in 2 weeks. After the plates arrive and the first complaints about work taper off, I place 3 things on the table: a photocopy of my winning ticket, the state's confirmation letter, and the deposit schedule. Paper, ordinary and final. I won, I say, and I kept it to myself. Silence hits like a dropped plate. A lottery? Diego leans forward, eyes bright. You're kidding. Nolan snatches the letter, scans fast. His voice shifts to the one he uses when he takes over a room. Okay, first, we need a plan. Taxes clearly handled. Next, investment vehicles. You can't just sit on this, Dad. You'll burn it. I keep my hands around the warm cup. Before any plan, a truth. I tested you. Erin's eyes flicker. Diego smirks. Nolan's mouth tightens. Monday, I say, looking at Erin. I called short of breath. Asked for a ride. Asked for 25 for a cab. You asked me for 60 for a dress. Erin's lips part, then press shut. Work was... She stops there. Tuesday, I say to Nolan. I asked you to explain options. You demanded my logins, a power of attorney, and told me people my age can't understand anything. That's not what He sits taller. I was protecting you from yourself. You are not equipped. Wednesday, I say to Diego. I lost my wallet. Asked for an hour to look and file a report. You told me to sell my tools. You laughed. You called me old man like it was an insult you'd polished. Diego's chair scrapes. I was working. Rent's due. You think the bar runs without me? And stop acting like you're helpless. Don't dump your mess on me and call it love. Across the room, a woman in scrubs pays her bill and turns, catching my eye. June. She hesitates, then steps closer, voice quiet. Mr. Brooks? She asks, and I nod. She looks at the table, at my children, at me. He never wants to bother you, she says simply. He takes the shuttle when he can. He downplays everything. I thought you should know. She leaves without waiting for thanks. Nolan scoffs. We're not debating bedside manner, we're talking about real money. That sentence is why we're here, I say. You talk about money like it's the only real thing. I slide the papers back to my side and fold them once. The house goes to Lily. The largest share of this money goes to Lily. I let their names find the air one by one. Not because she asked. Because she didn't. Because she offered soup and silence and a car with no stopwatch. I will keep enough to live without asking any of you for anything. The 3 of you nothing for now. Aaron blinks hard but doesn't argue. Diego swears under his breath. You're punishing us because we work, he spits. Because we don't drop our lives for your dramatics. Nolan leans in, voice lowering to a blade. This is irrational. You are being manipulated by by strangers in scrubs and a teacher who reads you bedtime texts. If you do this, don't call me when you realize what a mistake. I won't, I say. He flinches like the door shut on his hand. I'm not buying love, I add. I'm measuring it. I'm measured. I'm done. Linda arrives with the check, not meeting anyone's eyes, and sets it by my elbow. I place exact cash for my meal and the tip. My chair makes a clean sound as it pushes back. You can stay and finish dessert, I say. The pie's good. The cold hits first clean, salt bright, honest. My phone won't stop vibrating. Nolan, Diego, then a text from Aaron that only says, "Are you okay?" I let them stack into a silence I can live with. I scroll to Lily. She answers on the first ring. "Uncle Walt, I'm outside the Blue Lantern," I say. "It's done. Do you want me to come now?" "Number tomorrow's enough. Meet me by the pier at 10. Bring that soup you promised." She exhales, relief in the sound. "I'll be there. Do you want to talk about it?" "Tomorrow," I say. "Tonight I'm just finished paying for conversations that cost respect." "Okay," she says. "Drive safe." I sit a minute longer, watching the harbor light blink on, off, unlike the world taking steady breaths without me. The restaurant's windows glow behind me. Somewhere in there my children are rehearsing the next argument. I'm not invited to it anymore. I start the engine. I don't forgive. Not tonight. But I don't deadbolt the future either. Doors can stay closed without being nailed shut. At the end of the lot, the road bends toward the water. I take it. The sea keeps its own counsel, and I've finally found mine. What a father keeps isn't money but dignity. Love can't be bought. It can only be proven by showing up, by listening, by honoring boundaries. Choose to measure love rather than purchase it, and justice arrives without revenge. Let this family story remind us that God sees the quiet choices and that gratitude finds its way home. By the dark harbor, a ring kept safe, a promised bowl of soup, small things speaking a larger truth. Respect is love in daily practice. Forgiveness can wait, integrity cannot. Leave the door unlocked for tomorrow, but protect your peace tonight. In this family story, God whispers that real family is made where care asks for no receipt. If this family story reached you, share a thought in the comments and pass it to someone who needs a gentle nudge. May God guide your own endings toward kinder beginnings.